Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's HJ Goes Live. Today's session is called Raise Your Game and Shine, and it's supported by Aveda. And today I am joined by the lovely Gina Conway and the lovely Robin Hague. Guys,
Hi!
I've got a very short and lovely intro to introduce who we are now referring to as the Dream Team.
Hey!
Gina and Robin are basically taking the future of salon ownership by storm. So you'll know Gina as the award-winning stylist and the multi-salon owner who's based in London and is all about her love of sustainability, artistry, her hairdressing academy and business know-how. And together with Robin Hague, who is the founder of 5 Aveda salons in the Southwest, they are basically ripping up salon ownership and changing things up. They've both got a huge passion for guest service and coaching teams to greatness. And now they've combined forces and they're supporting the growth of sustainable salons across the UK through a very interesting new business model that's enabling hair artisans to be in business for themselves, but not by themselves. It's time to raise your game and shine, which is my favorite little motto ever. And I feel like super cheesy saying that. And I know you guys would say it in a much more sincere way. Britishness in me.
I know, I'm American. I'm sorry, I can't help it. You can take the girl out of California, but you can't take California out of the girl.
But welcome both of you. Thank you so much for joining us today. And I can't wait to hear more about this exciting new salon ownership opportunity. So please tell me about how you joined forces during lockdown, during some dark times, and created the powered duo that is Gina Conway Salons, which are now 5 strong across London and the Southwest. And what is it about your union that makes you two such a great fit and the reason behind the merge?
Well, Gina and I have known each other for nearly 20 years. And we have developed a great working relationship over that time where we call on each other's strengths and identify where we can help each other within our respective businesses, and all of that within the Aveda family. So that's what brought us together. The COVID lockdown, which I know was miserable for so many people and worse than that for many. There are always positives, aren't there? And we saw it as the gift of time. And we used that time to put into practice something that we talked about for years and years, and that is working together properly. And so we formalized that relationship as a proper business partnership. And out of that have created a new concept, which we believe is the future for hairdressing and enterprise in the industry.
So without further ado, I guess now is the time to tell us about the launch of the Gina Conway Ateliers, which sounds like such a super exciting platform that really could transform the hairdressing industry. So let us know more. What is this?
So I'll start with that. So the Gina Conway Atelier concept is taking the Gina Conway brand and ethos and values around sustainability, values around customer service, and education, and really bringing it to artisans. So artisans for us are those amazing hairdressers who maybe they're working in a salon but have never had a management position, and they just are so passionate about doing hair and have the ambition to open their own salon, but maybe are afraid of all the knockbacks, or they don't know how to start or where to start, or how to do all this. And so what Robin and I have created is a way to help them open their own Gina Conway Atelier. And with the support of all of our back office function, meaning we can support them with their marketing, the website, the social media, the HR, PR, helping with their finance function, helping train and management development. So we've really created this monster platform to support these beautiful artists, to help them get to their dreams alongside us, and be part of something big, something beautiful, and something together. And I think Robin says it best when you say that they'll be working
for themselves but not by themselves. Gina and I made the decision independently, me 32 years ago, you 21 years ago, to open our own salons. And we are very fortunate that we got beyond the first year or 2 years, because it's a minefield of you need skills that you didn't realize you needed, and you don't have them. And you just want to be, you did that because you want to be a great hairdresser, and you want to be able to play your tune in your own space. And so you decide to be enterprising and open your own salon. But actually, it's a lot more to it than that. So what we have created is an opportunity for people to be able to play their music, to play their tune within their own space, and to have the freedom of their own business, and with no ceilings, as in enterprises there aren't, but with all those support mechanisms, so you're not going to trip over on the first banana skin, and so you can grow with us and have a fabulous, successful career as a salon owner. And so we're really excited about that.
We just think it's really going to transform the industry. And like, after something coming out of COVID, where everybody's kind of questioning where's their future headed, is this where they want to be, is this what they want to do, do they need more flexibility in their life, do they need more autonomy in their life, what is it that they've been looking for? And I know lots of people have been asking themselves all kinds of questions, and we knew this was happening, and we could feel it, and I could really get the heartbeat of what was going on during lockdown. It's I know I'm on every single podcast. I listen to everything all the time. I'm literally like a sponge. And so I kind of knew that there was going to be this huge resurgence of people wanting to transition into something new. And so it was really just the perfect time for us. And we believe it's the perfect time in the industry, and we believe it's with the perfect partners. So yeah, we're really excited about the future. And we also, because of my sustainability background, to create a sustainable salon group, it's just a dream come true.
It sounds very exciting. So what would you say, if you had to narrow it down, what are the main points of difference in your new franchise opportunity that really make it stand out?
Well, we identified the development of first of all, what is the customer demanding now? Okay, because that's changing. Consumer habits are changing. Our high streets, our city centres, town centres are changing unrecognizably in some cases. And I know that causes some concern, and any change has to become bad before it becomes great. But what is happening and developing are new spaces, new communities where people are working and living in closer proximity. They're not spending 2 hours on the train. They're working. There's more environmental sustainability message attached to that. More green space, open space, and community space where people shop and work and live together. All of these big old dinosaur department stores that are closing down because that's not how people shop anymore, they are being transformed into amazing new spaces, new out of town farm shops and areas where people go for community, for lifestyle. This is where our Ateliers are going to be. And that's going to make those business models more agile, and not these great big clunky salons in high streets with massive rents and huge rates and massive overheads before you even open the door. So these are much more viable business models.
Yeah.
And with our support function behind the scenes, allowing the artisan to do their magic on a day-to-day basis and be successful in business as well at the same time.
And also, I think the idea of an atelier is an artist space. It's a space for creativity. It's like where alchemy happens, you know. And I think, you know, being able to have a luxury, to be able to give a luxury experience for our guests in a beautiful environment, like environment and culture are really important to me and to the brand, and the, you know, highest, best customer service, you know, possible. So we sort of see this sort of the Gina Conway brand developing in sort of smaller boutique spaces. So that's kind of really some of the main things that we believe set us apart.
And of course, you're always talking about your famous American style customer service. If you do, you know, roll out into more salons, are you worried about how you're going to keep that strong as you grow?
I am not worried about that. I mean, we did, there was a real kind of question in the early days, like, why hasn't somebody done this before? You know, and we thought, well, they must do it, haven't done it because it must be too hard. But we really believe in training and development. And so we've been like, you know, creating processes that are, you know, and that are followed up by coaching. And if we do this and all of these things, and we really keep that very, very strong, and we just want to be part of their company. So we want to sort of be the partner. I always say that I lead with love. And, you know, I really am passionate about helping people. And I know that Robin really very much is. So no, we really believe that we can help support them to be successful. So yeah, that's.
We realize that because of the challenges and changes that lockdown and COVID has presented to us, that the habits have changed. And yes, you can get a great haircut in your kitchen. There's no space now for mediocrity in a salon. People need a great experience, or they'll get the haircut in their kitchen. And so what we are about, it's not just an amazing haircut. Yes, that is fundamentally important. And the color has to be stunning and beautiful. And the stylists have to be ahead of the game the whole time. And that's down to our training plan and program and the wonderful people that we have that are educators within our organization. But it's that passion for making somebody's day and making that experience just something that is worth making the journey for, to go and sit somewhere else and just be looked after like that. And that is so high up on our agenda. And so that's going to be woven within the DNA of the Gina Conway Atelier.
So what would make a good franchisee to that point? And you keep using the phrase artisan, which I'm loving. Tell me a little bit about why we're using that phrase.
So the kind of person that would make a great artisan or atelier owner would be somebody who is hungry, who wants to learn, that learning never stops. They have those values of education, you know, deep inside of them, because I think, you know, I'm always learning. I'm still learning every single day. And I just have a real thirst for that. And I think people who have a thirst for that will always be seeking to improve. And that's the kind of people I want to work with. And an artisan is a person who we believe that they're the hairdressers of the industry. They're not the person that sits in the office, that's the manager, or that's, you know, tweaking spreadsheets, but it's the person who's on the floor, who sees everything through a creative eye.
And like works with their hands and is there.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it too. So how long have you both been with Aveda, and what made you choose Aveda in the first place?
Well, my journey with Aveda started, I think, 21 years ago. And I was using another fantastic brand in my salons. I had two then, and I wanted to. I was looking for something better, and I came across this brand called Aveda, and I didn't quite believe what it said on the tin, to be honest. So I flew to Minneapolis. They were having a big congress out there, and I realized it was exactly what it says on the tin, and made the decision there and then that this was the way forward for my salons. And it wasn't long after that that I met Gina, and who'd chosen for exactly the same reason. I mean, they are amazing. It isn't just a shampoo or a hair color. It's so much more than that, and they are our partners, aren't they? Within our brand, and we go hand in hand with our values and our quest for improvement and for incredible training, and just offering the very best possible result, and as the tool we use, but it's also part of our culture as well. I think it's
the environmental sustainability for me. It's their mission to make the world a better place than they found it, as is mine. And so that just made such a perfect fit. Nobody else was doing it at the time. Nobody else had even conceived of it, but they started 40 years ago with that in mind. And they continue to do so, and they help so many people. Like, they have over 100 partnerships across the world where they're, developing education programs for, children in impoverished areas, and they, build water, communities where they don't have any water, so that they can, have access to schooling and jobs, and they support women industries, and so they just do so many things. And really, as we're a big, Gina Conway is a big, has a big charity focus as well. So it just really sits with us, all about the environmental, the ethical, and the values.
I think what resonates really strongly is the fact that, I'm a businessman, you're a businesswoman, and we are enterprising. But Aveda demonstrate that having an incredible corporate social responsibility program doesn't compromise your success. In fact, it actually enhances it. So by doing great things and caring about people and communities, you can actually have an even more successful business. And it really does, I think, highlight, I know they're a big organization, but compared to some massive organizations in the world, they're nothing in size, but they're giants in terms of their example that they set.
Yeah, well put.
And on that point, Gina, obviously we know that you are the UK ambassador for sustainability at Aveda. I would love to know your thoughts on what you think the future of sustainability in the salon industry is going to be like, and why is it so important, particularly at this time?
Well, it has to happen. We have to change. I've become a bit of a sort of an eco warrior. I feel so strongly that wasting is just the death of our industry, and I feel like we need to be ahead of the curve, because changes are going to happen. The government is going to say, tax us on our water, we're already getting huge price rises in our energy bills. So, if we don't start doing something now, we won't have an industry to sustain. So really, it's what we have to do, but it's also what we should do. So I believe that the future is, it's inevitable, and it's also the right thing to do. So we have a program where, it just, just this comprehensive program of literally everything that we do in the salon. We ask the question, do we need it? Is it, what's the life cycle? And, so everything is questioned, and we really, through every induction that we do with every new team member, everything always comes back down to how are we educating and how are we keeping this communication, this vision alive.
Cool. So talking about that team vibe and that kind of team experience, what things do you do in the salons to create that through your teams and the positive culture that you're renowned for?
Well, it starts before they ever interview with us. So, it's about who we are in the community. It's about who we are and our reputation. And, we hope that the people that get attracted to come to work for us are of a positive, warm energy. And we would really only hire people who have that real thirst for day making. And, you mentioned it earlier. We really, being a day maker is part of our DNA. So, for instance, I am obviously, this bold personality American. I really feel that positive energy is a part of part of the business and why people want to come, because they get a wonderful warm welcome when they come in. And I have this really strong theory that this is our sanctuary. And so, these four walls are the place that we get to come. And that is really, really strong. And so if somebody's having a bad mood or feeling like they've had a fight with their boyfriend or the bus driver was rude, they've got to leave it at the door. And in fact, they leave it down the street because I don't want it creeping back in. So really, when we come to the salon, this is what they feel, and that's what I want the guests to feel as well. So it's a wonderful place. It feels great. It's really positive, and and we're constantly reiterating that message through how we, our team events and through our chats. We have a tribe chat, and so it's very, very much constant positive reinforcement.
Amazing. And do either of you have any words of wisdom for new business owners who are looking to open up a salon of their own? What would you say?
Well, there are no boundaries other than the ones that exist in your head.
Nice.
And just do it. We have a tremendous opportunity here. And for anybody that is even considering breaking out, and the greatest fear I have in my life is getting to the end of it with my music still in me. We have to play our tune, don't we? Nobody has ever failed by trying to do something. And if you've got that in you, you've got to get it out, because otherwise you'll have your music to play still. I
love that. You're so right. You always has a great antidote for things.
Your guys' analogies are spot on.
I know, right? I'm sometimes I just look in awe. I'm like, yes, right. Well put. You had another one this morning. We'll come up with that a little bit later, but yeah. So I agree. So it's about that. There's no such thing as failure, because every fail is a learn, and every time you do that and you try, you just get stronger and smarter. And I like to think of it like the circle. Whereas, so this is your little comfort zone right here. And if you stay in your comfort zone, that's fine. Nobody's going to get hurt. You might not bump into any walls or anything like that. But then if you sort of go out of your comfort zone, you get bigger and bigger. And then your comfort zone gets bigger and bigger. And then you start to stretch yourself. And next thing you know, you're doing things you never imagined you could ever do. So that's why I love that analogy, because that's exactly how I feel as well. It's that, where is your boundary, or do you not even have boundaries? Like, how big is this universe? How big can you dream?
Exactly. Infinite.
I love this. I feel like with those two beautiful pieces of wisdom, that is the perfect time to end this session on. We cannot get any better than that?
Oh,
Well, thank you for having us.
Thank
so
you
nice.
so
Nice
much.
sharing and nice talking to you and seeing you again.
Yeah, great
It
to see
is
you.
an absolute delight. And below the live stream of this session, we'll have a link to the website, and we'll have a little more info on both Gina and Robin. So thank you so much to everyone that's tuned in today. Thank you, Gina and Robin, for your life lesson and your infinite wisdom. Much appreciated. Right, I'm off to go and push my comfort zone now.
Where? It's over here. It's out here, girl. Right, love you guys. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank
Bye.
you.
See you
Bye-bye.
soon.
Bye. Bye-bye. Well done.